Can you hear me? Do I have sound? Hi, IAH Radio Plus. How are you guys doing out there? I'm JudgeDesire for knowledge on Know Your Truth, Real Talk. So I'm back. I'm back in the States. What a wonderful time I had in the Dominican Republic for a few weeks. It was really nice. I got to relax, enjoy ourselves. It was really cool. But now we're back to the snow, the rain. But at least I had the chance to have some sun and heat and the beaches. Can you hear me? Clear. Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm JudgeDesire for Knowledge. I'm on IAAH Plus every Saturday at 3 for Know Your Truth, Real Talk, and here on YouTube. I'm just returning from the Dominican Republic back to the States, and we had a great time. I'm going to be putting that up. I'm out and about travels real soon, so go check that out on my channel here on YouTube. And I hope you all are having a great pre-holiday celebrations, or at least getting ready for it. You got your trees out yet? I sure do. And I got to see a lot of stuff out there. I relaxed more than the last time. So basically I'm out and about travels will have more of whatever I was able to do at that time. So I tried to do as much meditation of relaxation. You know what I mean? So this week I decided on Know Your Truth, Real Talk that I'll come out again with on relationships. I think you guys like that one. This time, instead of exclusively for the males and females or ladies and gents, I'm doing it for both. So the reason why I do on relationships now during this holiday season is because then people, tend to meet new people, date new people, or are interested, or sometimes suddenly meet new people. And I wanted to come out there and give you some tips, not that I know it all, but from experience, like I said, from experience, life experience, worldly experience, work experience, and personal experience of myself and other people I've seen. I put it all together in my content as I state to you every time I do on relationships. What's different this week is that we're about to go into Christmas and New Year's. So I figured, wait a minute, this is a time people are mingling and going together. So I'm going to do another on relationships so that you can see for yourself what it is that you need to look when you go out there, if you're looking or not. But if it just happens to happen, sometimes things just don't happen. They happen for reasons, either false personas or people are real. You don't know which one it is. So I'm going to help you out with what I've seen and put together today on this content. I Know Your Truth, Real Talk. On relationships, do you really know your partner? Find the evidence in the people you date. So and I don't mean digging up. You can do this as well. Fingerprinting, background checks. Yeah, we all know. But I'm talking about on a personal level outside of that, because we all don't carry crime labs, fingerprinters around with us, pads and stuff like that. So we got to use our intuition and our gift of knowledge and wisdom. So what I did was I put together to analyze different things that I've seen other people go through and how they got out of it or didn't get out of it. And I put it all together here, including where I work, where it's all about relationships there. Everything is a relationship, whether good or bad, it ends up in the courts. So not all of them, but the majority, because that's when it goes bad, right? Either it's matrimonial, divorce, someone hurting other people. Oh, they're caroling. Did you hear that? It's Santa around my neighborhood. How nice is that? All right. And Merry Christmas to you all. Yay. I love the holidays, especially Christmas. But either way, because it's of light. And I love the lights. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, it's so outdo the dark Halloween. I can't stand. But either way, let's get back on subject matter. The subject matter is that So a lot of people have false personas. And so when you go out there and you're meeting people, you never know what the reason is at that time and moment. It could be the best thing that ever happened to you or the worst thing that ever happened to you. So before you get in your commitments during the holidays, you notice that winter most babies are born, right? So, and that's because we're all together comforting each other and in the warmth. And then when summer comes, it's like nobody knows each other anymore. Have you guys experienced that? I don't, because now I'm married, but in the single days when I used to watch other people and myself, I'm like, yeah, this is when people hook up the most, in the winter time, because they like snuggling, the holidays, no one wants to be alone. And then those that do, that's okay. It's okay to be alone. Alone gives you growth, self love, self-care, if that's what you utilize it for. But in this particular episode, I just wanted to describe on relationships, on finding the evidence in people, because you need to know ahead of time what you're getting yourself into. I've seen too many people date people for a long time and still don't know who they are. I'm not talking about a week, 2 weeks. You can know years, a person for years, and just find out, wow, I didn't even know that person really didn't work there. That person really did this to me and I never knew it. Or whatever the question is for you, wow, I didn't know. That's all you need to think of and put that answer there. But I've seen it and I've heard it and I've hear the stories all the time. So I figured, let me put it together for this week's content, seeing that Christmas and New Year's brings people together to mingle, have a good time, bring in the New Year's. Um, Christmas, people like presents. So I guess that's why people want to get together with other people. So just be careful of why someone wants to get together with you if you're not just generally going out there to look, or if it's spontaneous. Just try to understand that not everything is what it seems all the time, but doesn't mean that you go out there and be paranoid either. You just got to keep your antennas up like those deers this Christmas. All right. And the reindeers, and keep those antennas up and make sure that you don't end up hurt, distraught, left out in the cold, or even broke. Because I'm going to tell you a short story before I start my episode. So we have some friends. I don't want to tell you where they are, but they're not from this, not from the States. And recently we heard that this perfect so-called marriage, which I already could see it wasn't all that. And it wasn't going to be, because I could tell from the person's face that that person was out to get whatever they could from this gentleman. And so now we've heard that he has lost it all. This is just a little bit of proof of why you shouldn't rush things. And I mean, they've been together for years, maybe not more than 5. Usually people play along that long, and some people more, until they crash and burn and take you down with them. But in this sense, he had a business. He gave some of the business to the person, his wife, quote unquote, and her own nail salon, his business where he had a restaurant, coming from another country, building in a country. And long story short, this person left one day with the baby, because of course, if you have a child, then you can go through child support. If you get married, you could do alimony. Whatever the case is, you get something back, right? So this is what happened. So basically, this person now took them for not only leaving them child support, they started those proceedings. Then they started divorce proceedings and the alimony, everything. So the guy is now, long story short, people watch it. The guy has nothing now, no businesses that he started from the ground up, was building legacies. It's gone into the pocket of this uh, Jezebel, or whatever you want to call these type of women out here. And there's males like that, but we're hearing a lot about females. Be careful. Men and women, be careful. So yeah, they're trifling and they'll play the game for as long as possible. And I've known a few people that been played a lot. These women or men, but particularly I'm gonna speak about women right now, that I've noticed they know how to play the game real good, because men are just looking at the view of what they see. That all that glitters is beautiful, baby. Not all that glitters is all that. Be very careful what's in the inside. I said this on my last show. What's on the inside of the person is going to be more important. And you guys have to understand that, or you'll end up just like this fellow we know. Now we have to see what way we can help this guy out, because it's so sad. And yes, he's going to learn his lesson, but it can also, while we're learning our lessons, if we have done things before we would have been able to protect ourselves, known the truth. There's more to just a smile and talking. You need to get directly to the point with people and see the red flags right ahead and run. All right. But some people play those flags and it's over your head because you're not seeing it as you want to. You don't want to see it. Mostly men because you see the view. And like I said, all that glitters is not that beautiful. If they're overmade and overdoing, overzealous all the time, they need a little comfort or they need some, I don't know, pat on the back if you're overindulging on how you look all day and everything. Yeah, those are the ones that are trying to get somebody. So basically, from what I've seen anyway, that is something you got to watch out for because all that glitters is not what it seems to be. And don't forget that. So we're going to go on to this episode on relationships. Do you really know your partner? And find the evidence in the people so that you know for this, what the story I just told you, that's an actual, real, factual story. It's true. That you don't end up like this poor fellow that's probably going to be homeless. But you know what? We're going to try to see what we can do so he doesn't get homeless. But we have to use our matter, our mind, and our heads, and not one head only, guys. One head only. Females, same thing. You got to use your head as well when you're being used in different ways, because everyone's being used a different way, but not everyone's being used. So this is where your discernment comes in, where you have to figure it out. That's what you got a brain for. Everything that has looks is not as important as having a brain, because your looks will deceive you. Okay, your looks, their looks, it will deceive that person. You'll be deceived by that person. It goes both ways. So the evidence of people you date is really important to find out. I found that out after my first marriage. Do you know who they really are? Except what they tell you. Now, there's a lot of people that they'll have that false personas. Oh, I work here, I do this. And you know what? They're not doing exactly what you told them to do. You don't even know if they're on the street corners. Did you get the evidence? I mean, you don't have to be nosy, but if you want to commit with someone and it becomes further, your money is going to be in their pockets later. So you're going to want to know. You know what I mean? It's really important to check that out and make sure that you do, if you want a commitment. And commitment can be first level commitment, dating, and it's just you guys. Then you get other commitments, engagement, and then another commitment, marriage. Be careful, because that commitment is the one you got to be making sure that you check the evidence out on people who say one thing, but it's another. So do you really know who they really are? Accept what they tell you. Be careful of false personas. Do you trust them that you're getting the truth and nothing but the truth? Let's go. Do you tell them your business, all your personal things? This is not good. Not on the first date, not on a few dates. Get to know who you're talking to that you know you shouldn't have told until you know who they really are. Try not to give too much of your personal information. Once they know how much you have going on, those are the ones that jump up. Oof, yeah, baby, I'm going to get this guy for what he got, or I'm going to get this girl for what he... Don't talk too much. Talking too much can be a downfall, because they may play like your friend and be your enemy right there. Okay, especially if you're dating on apps or you're talking on the phone and you never really get to see the person for who they are. We've been friends for years or not friends for years, but you're still on the phone. You don't really know that person. Be careful with that. You don't know who they are. They're going to lie to you as much as they want to. They're not real. This is not real. Tangible is real. Intangible, as far as we know right now, is fake until you get the evidence, okay? So the things that you shouldn't be telling people, keep it to yourself. There'll become a time and place when you feel ready to. Don't let it be right as soon as you meet them, please. Please don't let that happen. In order to identify when a romantic partner is misrepresenting themselves or lying about the truth of who they are, I'm going to take these first steps of analysis into account to show you what I would do, or what I think you should do, as far as laying out a plan for yourself when you want to date. Okay, because even simple dating can take a part of whatever little bit you have, and they don't even have to be attached to your assets. You're taking them out on dates, you're treating them, you're taking them out on dinners. Things like that is like a waste of money if someone's in for the game. So it doesn't matter how much you spend, it's what you spend and what you do and your time. All right, inconsistencies between the narrative and what you observe. So that would be, they talk the talk. What do you observe of them talking? What's their narrative saying? Always watch that. Truth remains stable and fabrication requires revision. All right, don't forget that. Now, here's the evidence indicators when it comes to that. Personal history changes when retold. Yeah, see, when you're talking to people, listen to what they're saying. You don't have to record them, your mind should remember this stuff. Dates, timelines, or locations do not align when cross checked. And you should be. You should be. I just said a story about someone that lost it all. Isn't that important enough for you to just say, I just want to have sex? I mean, why not wait on sex? Who needs that much? Are you desperate? This is what I need. This is what I want. Sometimes that need and that want will get you in the most biggest problem ever, and you'll be sorry for it. So please make sure that's all that you want in life, because it's a bigger picture than that. There's a lot of takers out here, and they're overranking people that give at this point. All right. So when you're dating now, it's about who has what and what can I take from you instead of what I could give. So I'm sure there's a percentage that are good people out here, like myself and a few of us out here, but they're not finding us. And you know why? Because those people that are out there are going to present themselves a little more than we do. We sit back. People like ourselves, we don't have to work hard at it. We don't have to push ourselves. It's just going to come. All right. And then be careful of that too. But when you're pushing yourself out there and you're going over limits, it's because that person needs something from you. It's not about you. Don't forget that. It's not about you. Assets and what? Yeah, it's all about the assets. And yeah, and then you get hit hard. That's exactly what we found out about our good friend, and we really care about him a lot. He's not someone that is a part of the family or anything, but he's a good friend. We like people, and when I like people, I consider them a friend at least, a colleague, whatever it is. And if they're good to me, I'm good to them. And this guy did not deserve what he got out of that marriage. And some people, it's not even a marriage. They get done like this by just dating someone. So this is when the holiday season that we have to actually be aware. Check their personal history changes when retold. I worked here and now. Oh yeah, no, I don't do that no more. I got promoted, but they really didn't. They forgot what they told you. Those are lies. When the dates and timelines and locations do not align with cross-checked stories that they told you before, be careful of that. And then when stories become more detailed only after being questioned, that's important. Question things. If you sit quiet and keep listening to them ramble, eventually you start questioning those things and watch how they act. They're going to crumble, especially liars. Eventually the lies, some people are real good at it. They can spend years telling you one thing and then forgot that they said it. Explanations are vague when specifics should be easy to recall. So those are actual evidence indicators, I call them. And the key test is to ask neutral clarification questions weeks later. Okay, weeks later. Truth is recalled and lies are reconstructed usually when you do that test. You understand? So it's not to test your partner. We all don't want to go there, but we're not simply dealing with good people like before, like when our parents, even them, they had issues. But I'm just saying it's even worse now. Nobody wants to do the work for themselves. They want to take it from other people and then act like it was theirs in the beginning, like they got it. For instance, you get married over and over, but every time you get married, it breaks up, but you end up with the property. So let's just say, hypothetically, female or male, and this becomes something that is always, and then they go on to a relationship and they use the blame on someone else. But how did you get that house? They're not going to tell you it was that way. They're going to say, oh no, that's mine, or I got it through something else, or domestic violence, or whatever the case may be. or he cheated or she cheated. They'll use excuses, and sometimes that's not it. It's just that that's what they do. That's how they work. Who wants to get married that many times to do the same thing? What's wrong with you? Can't you go get your own money? I mean, and the same thing with pregnancy. I've seen in the court system, when I worked in family court, a lot of women, I don't know how many times you could get pregnant, but they utilize that factor in order to get money as well. And it's sad, and I know people don't believe it, but it's the true facts. A lot. Not all of them get there to do that, but some of them is like, if I get pregnant, I'll just get the money. If I get pregnant, I'll just get the money. So they get the money. And sometimes the children aren't even being kept. They're not being taken care for. They're not being noticed. They're getting the money and they're taking care of themselves and whatever. And of course, some children are being taken care of. But when you see multiple children from multiple partners, which I don't want to judge, but usually there's a scenario there, as well as multiple marriages. And we have to look at it for what it is. Like I tell people when they come to me, do you know that person's history? Um, See what their history was before you met them. Did they always break up and have excuses? Are they married more than once and have excuses? Or do they have multiple children and have excuses? Then you got to be careful with that, because you know that there's something wrong in that picture, right? All right, so discrepancies between words and repeated actions. Now, watch out for those discrepancies between words and repeated actions. Characters revealed through behavior under low scrutiny. My evidence indicators for that was, because you're going to get the discrepancies when there's a liar on board. The character is always revealed through the behavior of someone, not what their narrative is. So evidence indicators for that is, they claim honesty, but frequently small deceptive things occur. Be careful of that. States they value commitment but avoids accountability. Really, really important, because there's a lot of people that do that. They value commitment, but it's only by mouth. Their behavior doesn't show it. Promises future actions that are repeatedly inconsistent. So if there's promises being made and it's inconsistent, be careful, as most likely that is an evidence indicator that this is not the person that you thought they were. Moral standards applies to others but not to themselves. So they expect you to be waiting for them. You're going to be a good guy. You're going to be a good girl, but they're not. That is moral standards applies to other people, but not to them. So be careful of that. And how you can test that. The key test is track behavioral patterns, not isolated incidents. Patterns are evidence. All right. Don't forget that patterns are evidence. And then we're going to deceptive. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm going to go back. Defensive or manipulative. I'm sorry with that word. Communication when challenged. When you have someone that's manipulating the narrative and defensive all the time. So when they get challenged by your questioning, you're going to see that that is a problem. Why are you feeling like my questions is challenging you? That's because that's not the persona they're giving you, the persona they want you to look at, but not who they truly are. Honest individuals clarify. Deceptive individuals deflect. Don't forget that. And the evidence indicators for that would be someone who is immediately defensive, has defensiveness to neutral questions. I mean, if you have a neutral question, there shouldn't be no defense on it. Accusations that you are overthinking all the time or too sensitive or naive. When people say stuff like that, be careful, because those are the ones that have something to hide. They're just trying to see they're finding you out, that you're learning who they really are, and that's not their persona, that you're getting underneath the skin and finding them for who they really are. They don't like that. All right. Topic shifting when details are requested. When you start asking questions and then they change the topic, that's called topic shifting. So be careful of those things as well. These are all considered evidence indicators, because this show is about finding the evidence in those that you date. This is different type of evidence. You can do background checks and fingerprints if you choose, but this one is a personal one you can do without investigation or other investigations. This is just typically the most normal type that you can do, because you can find out just by asking questions. If your questions are becoming an issue, then you already know what the plan is. Emotional escalation, like they get angry, guilt tripping to avoid facts. Okay, be careful of that. There's a lot of people out here that do that. And the key test to that is note whether conflict resolution leads to clarity, or does it lead to confusion? If it leads to confusion, you got to make your own decisions on your own life. I'm just bringing you the message. I'm the messenger here. I just want to make sure that you love yourself enough and have self-care, self-love for yourself to take the time to do this. Because as I said, it is the holiday season out there. Ho, ho, ho. They're all around, whether male or female. That was kind of cute. Anyway, also restricted transparency without legitimate cause. So this is where the fakeness comes, where privacy is normal, secrecy around identity is not. So if privacy is normal, secrecy around identifying is not. So in other words, they keep certain things private, but your identity can't be private. You understand? You can find out. All right. The evidence is there. It's always been there. We just don't take the time because we're too busy falling for people that don't love us, don't want us. They have other people on the side at home, either married, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, or other situations going, some multiple, and you're sitting there thinking it's about you, and it's not. And that's unfortunate because, like I just stated in this actual scenario, it wasn't a scenario, it was actual facts of someone we know that happened to. I would not want that to happen to anyone. Okay, that's horrible that this man is now as broke as a yoke. I mean, it's horrible and it's not even funny. Those type of people disgust me that does things like this. But the evidence indicator on something that someone keeps secrets where you don't know the truth, you can identify through the identity. Avoidance of introducing you to friends, family, or colleagues. Inconsistent explanations for unavailability. Oh, I'm never here. I'm at work every day, but you have no money. I don't get that. But you know what? It is what it is. Unwillingness to discuss basic life, work schedule, living situations, and stuff like that. Their social media presence contradicts their personal. So when you have social media, that's another way you can look into someone. Sometimes most of that stuff is fake anyway. You might meet someone that doesn't look like that on social media at all. Sometimes the camera doesn't do us justice, and sometimes it's a total lie. All right, so you pick it out. If that person doesn't look at all like what they're putting, I mean, totally different. That's a different persona, because these are different type of things that you're not going to know until you actually meet with the person. You're talking over the phone. You could talk with someone for years and they've been lying the whole time. You don't know that person. You haven't seen them. You don't know them. You were friends before, and then you come back and be friends again and find out that's not the same person you were friends with, or it was the same person, and you know that's not the type of people you want to be with anymore. All right. Social media is a good way to check things out. Sometimes, not all the time, because like I said, there's false personas everywhere. But the key test to that is access, whether secrecy protects boundaries or protects deception. So that's what you want to know, if that secret protects the boundaries you have or protects their deceptions. Are they doing it because they have boundaries? Because people have boundaries. I do. Okay. I'm not going to want certain things because I don't hurt people like that. I'm not going out there to look for your stuff. I got my own stuff. So, and now I'm married. But other than that, when I was single, my whole life, no, that's not me. I leave people alone. I don't have time for games, and I don't have time to run after. I'm out and about, bye. And when bye is bye, that means you don't have to bother nobody again. You don't have to take alimony. You don't have to do child support. You don't have to. If you need to, then you do. But if that's the way for you to hold on to, then that's a stupid reason for it. I'm just gonna say it like it is. It is what it is, right? And when someone protects their deception, you got to be careful about that. Boundaries and deception are two totally different things. Um, Image management over truth. Yeah, didn't I talk about that earlier? Deceptive partners curate perception rather than live consistently. So if someone is not doing what they say they do, but they talk about it all the time and they're not doing it consistently, be careful of that. Like, for instance, I work a job, right? I'm at that job. I'm doing overtime all the time, and it is consistent if it's really overtime. Now, if I'm not, and I'm telling you that, and I'm out there having a great time, because now I need your money because I'm not really working overtime. And so now I'm like, oh, can you lend me? But wait a minute, weren't you working overtime? Why would I need to lend you? You should be lending me. It's consistency in whichever way you want to put it. Those are lies, and those are indicators, evidence indicators that, wait, if you were working overtime all that time, why you're in need of money to pay your bills, just for a scenario, just hypothetically. I just wanted to put that out there. So the evidence indicator for this would be excessive talking about themselves or victim narratives. And these are the people that it's about them. They have that ego trip, and everything about them, they play the victim. They go out, everybody did something to them. They're never going to own up that they did something, whether they slept with other people and their marriage ended. It's, oh, I got abused by that person. It could be anything. All right. You figure it out. You are supposed to figure out if these are lies or if these are truths. It's up to you, because your pocket's going to pay, your life's going to pay, your time's going to pay. And I say life because sometimes you see in the news, in the courts. So it's very serious out here on relationships. That's why sometimes I see people staying single. Good for you. Don't push it. Stay single. And I don't mean going to sleep with everybody that, if that's what you want to do and tarnish yourself for the rest of your life, that's on you. I don't think that's needed. But if you do and you're lonely like that, then you go do what you need to do. But don't forget, even that can get you in a situation. So single people out there, I have no problem with you. Those that want to date, please be careful out there, because it's beautiful when two people come together always, but the right people, not the wrong people. And sometimes you could be with the wrong people for so many years, friendship, marriage, partnership, or whatever, and find out, why did I waste my time here? Oh my God, I know I've done it. No offense to anyone that I dated before, but I know I have done that. Evidence indicators, excessive talking about themselves or victim narratives. That's what I was just talking about. Stories that always position them as exceptional, misunderstood, or wronged. Yeah, the victim mentality. Overemphasis on labels. I'm a good person. I'm different. I'm not that person I used to be back in the day. Rather than the evidence, be careful. When people talk like that all the time, why do you need to say that stuff? Show it. Action speaks louder than words, and be careful. There's people that has learned to use the action to make it believable as well. We got some real badass people out here. Excuse my expression. But from what I'm seeing in the dating scene, I'm so glad I'm not in that scene no more. Shifting personas and depending on the audience. Yeah. When you shift your persona depending on an audience, for instance, you take the person out if you're dating them and not over the phone, and all of a sudden they're a different person when you're with other people. That's shifting personas. Be careful of people that shift their personas. Okay, they're the type that are actually carrying false narratives and false personas. And the key test here is compare who they are when there is nothing to gain. All right, yeah. Now here comes the part that a lot of people need to know about, because this is what we were just talking about, where our friend lost everything over a marriage, someone that they thought was who they said they were. Financial, legal, or status unclearness. Very important for you to check that. Lies often clutter around resources and responsibilities, so be careful. What happens with finance, legal, or status unclearness? lies. A lot of people will lie and say what they want you to hear, but that's not what it is. So be careful. The evidence indicators for those would be excessive answers about income, debt, or legal obligations. You know, you have a right if you want a commitment. If you don't, well, people do have boundaries they're not going to tell you, or is it deceptive? You got to figure that out. Inconsistent claims about professional success, always bragging about how great you making it, how much you doing and where you going in places and how much you could do what you want and how much you make. Be careful, because when you over brag your stuff, usually there's something about that you're drawing your prey in. That's what they usually do. They draw them in. And you know, too many people like when they hear people ambitious and they're like, yeah, yeah, and they think it's real. Be careful about that. Not everybody is. They're looking for your money, not their own. Requests for financial assistance that conflict with what they stated previously. That's what I'm talking about. you you're doing overtime, but you asking me for money, right? Unverifiable credentials or achievement. If you cannot verify, and you cannot verify over a phone. If somebody's talking the talk, let them talk and walk, because that's not proof to you. I don't care if it's a long distance relationship, short distance relationship, date app, whatever. If it's over the phone, by letter, or whatever, be careful, because anyone can tell you anything if it's not verifiable. I mean, come on, let's put one and one together. It's not happening. These people know what they're doing. Get the legitimate credential. See if the achievements were met. If you want to commit with that person before you do, you be disgusted that you even wasted your time. The key test on that would be a legitimate success. Would be legitimate success withstands basic verification. So when you see legitimacy, of course, that is going to be your key right there. All right. Because basically verification of stuff, sometimes you won't be able to get it, but you will be able to if that person is willing to show the truth and clarify it. You know, some things can be fraud, but we can't always not give them, um, you know, trust people. We have to see how far they'll go. If they go that far, wow, don't get in a commitment with someone that would go that far to hide who they are. Okay, guys and gals. Pressure for trust without proof. Trust is built and not demanded. Don't forget that. It is built. You can't demand trust. You have to build trust. And the evidence indicator on that is statements like, if you love me, you wouldn't question me. If someone talks to you like that, pull out, get away, conversation over, run. All right. Personally, I would. Urging rapid commitment before verification. So someone that's pushing on you to get in a commitment will be the first one to run to another commitment because you didn't do it fast enough, because now you're going to find out who they are. So if they're quick on that and you taking your time, let them go. Let them run, because you just dodged the bullet. You just dodged the bullet, ladies and gentlemen. Don't feel any way about it. The right person will come in time. But if you're pushing it because of the holidays, because you need a date for New Year's Eve, just date yourself. Love yourself. Dismissing due diligence as negativity. That's important. Framing skepticism as betrayal. See, these are the key things that they do. And the key test to that is observe whether trust grows with evidence or is forced without it. Okay. So you got to see if you observe the trust grows with the evidence or is forced without it. So if you have no trust, then I suggest you run right now. Um, if your indicator inside of you, which is called an intuition, is telling you, then run. Your internal signals, that's exactly what I was just saying, used as a supporting. It should always be used as supporting and not primary evidence, okay? Because those signals are good, but to see it is even better. Discomfort often reflects unprocessed data. So this is why your internal signals are used as supporting, not primary evidence. The primary evidence would be seeing it, visualizing it, seeing the actions being done, not just your internal signals. And the evidence indicators on that would be persistent confusion after conversations. If you're confused after each conversation, that's an issue. Feeling you must keep track of their stories. Why do you think you need to do so? You know they're lying. That's a false persona. There's nothing left to say. Anxiety before asking simple questions. If you feel that way, that they have anxiety, that you seeing them get an anxiety, they're teaming up to learn what when you ask a question, they're thinking what the answer should be, not giving you the truth. A sense that clarity is always out of reach. Be careful, because if clarity is always out of reach, again, ask yourself, this is the key test, am I gaining clarity over time or losing it? Okay, so that's not good at all. If you're gaining clarity over, if you're gaining clarity over time, it's great. But if you're losing clarity, that's when step, left door, get out, run, run as fast as you can. That's just my opinion. The truth indicators are answers remain consistent. This is what you need to know when it comes to truth indicators. I gave evidence indicators, and these are truth indicators. Answers remain consistent. Minor clarifications add coherence. Details are recalled without strain. Behavior matches claims even when inconvenient. So, repair attempts without deflection, which means if you have an argument, it repairs without an issue. Okay. Now, deception indicators. Details expand defensive lists. I never said that replaces clarification, right? Excuses replace change. Promises substitute for action. Yeah, when they make too many promises, and blame externalizes repeatedly. Those are the things that are deceptive indicators. And what you can do next that's non confrontational would be: one, stop explaining your concerns. Two, start observing repeatable behavior. Three, ask few questions, make them factual. All right. And four, decide based on patterns, not assurances, whether or not this person is um, the person for you. Because, like we said, patterns are evident. Because a partner is most likely gonna lie about themselves when multiple categories are inconsistent with what they say and what they do. So you're gonna always find out that in patterns is where you get the truth and nothing but the truth. So with that being said, this is the end of our Know Your Truth Real Talk on relationships for today. I just wanted to say thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Judge Desire for Knowledge and Know Your Truth Real Talk. At the end of the month, I will be doing On Legal Matters again. Check me out on IAAH Plus Radio. Tune in on the road. Download the app when you can't see me on YouTube, or you just don't have YouTube. Whatever the case may be, you can hear whatever I have to bring every Saturday at 3. I just wanted to wish you all a great Merry Christmas. That's coming up, and stay safe out there. Enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and be careful of those people out there looking to take from you, even those that are out in the stores. Just, if it's not a relationship, it's something else. But I just hope that you all have a blessed Merry Christmas. Come check out I'm Out and About Travels. I'll be uploading that soon. I'm ready to go to a Christmas event right now. So I'm out and about in a few minutes. I hope you all are enjoying your Christmas parties. You only get to live once. Don't overdo it. Don't drink and drive. Yes, the judges will be there on Christmas Eve. Definitely. And on weekends. So don't worry, because if you think they won't, they will. For criminal, it's never closed. So with that being said, bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, is adjourned. And I will catch you next week, Saturday at 3, here on YouTube and IAAH Plus Radio. Merry Christmas, everyone. Love, blessings. Ciao.